All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth to rule well. All right. I was, looking at this video yesterday that popped up, and as I was looking at it, it had a couple things that, are subjects, that these so-called Christians, and by so-called Christians, I mean the street apologists is what they call themselves, like Vocab Malone, and certain other Christian groups. They don't believe in reincarnation, and that video popped up, so it spiked my interest, and I clicked on it. All right, so I'm going to play these two clips real quick.
24% of American Christians believe in reincarnation. Yet the concept of reincarnation goes against Orthodox Church doctrine. In 1978, Geddes McGregor argued this should not be the case. He claimed that early Christians did believe in reincarnation. Moreover, McGregor says all written evidence for reincarnation in early Christian teachings and in the Bible was deliberately suppressed by the Catholic Church.
All right, so that one shows you that at one time, all right, in early Christianity, it talked about reincarnation, man, because that's what the apostles and the prophets, all right, and a lot of Israelites believed in. All right, now there were some Israelites in the time of Yahweh Shai that didn't know about reincarnation, but you had some Israelites in the time of Yahweh Shai that did know about reincarnation, man, and a lot of Israelites that converted to Greek, all right, in the time of Antiochus Epiphanes, he made them convert to Greeks, and a lot of Israelites were pleased to convert to Greek, stop calling themselves Hebrews, stop what is it called, circumcising, they stopped keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, they stopped keeping the Sabbath day, all right, so they converted to Greek, called themselves Greek, because Israel once, the land of Israel, was conquered by the Greeks, so after a long period of time, of washing down and being indoctrinated with mythology and the ways of the Greeks and the Romans, eventually you had Israelites or Jews, all right, because at that time it was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You had them convert to being Greek, calling themselves Greek and speaking Greek, all right, and that's why the scripture says there's no difference between Jew or Greek, and that Greek that it's talking about is the Israelites that converted to Greek, because they're Israelites either way. All right. So during that time period, that's why the word hell, you see, has two meanings. All right, which is Sheol in the Hebrew. All right, but in the Greek it's Hades, and when you go into the word Hades, it's the abode of the dead. All right, which is the grave, the graveyard, the pit. All right, but it was also known as the underworld. All right, which is where you get modern day Christianity from. All right, where there's this man that lives underground in fire. All right, which is not true. They got that from Christianity, because then you see that it says later use of the word means the grave, the pit. All right, which was the Israelites once they understood, or once they called themselves Greek. Later on, after Yahweh Shai, they started calling hell as in the grave, the pit. All right, instead of calling it a graveyard. All right, that's why it says hell enlargeth herself. His pleasure is as hell when it enlarges itself. All right, because everybody in this world could be buried today and the world would still not be full, So let me play the second clip.
The transmigration of the soul. When biological death occurs, souls are reborn into another body of an animal or person.
All right, and that part right there is going off because everything comes back in order. All right, if you were a dog before, you're gonna come back as a dog. All right, you're not gonna come back as a squirrel. You know, if you were a female, you're gonna come back as a female of a nation that you were from. You know, if you were an Israelite male in the past, you're going to come back as an Israelite male. All right. And usually it follows down through your seed line. All right. Which is spiritual, because just today I started rereading the book of Tobit. All right. Because it has a lot of beautiful points in Tobit, you know. But in Tobit, it says Tobit tells his son Tobias, all right, to marry a woman of their tribe, of their nation. All right, because they're the sons of the prophets, which means what? Which means the prophets come back through the same lineage that they laid. You see, it's a perfect circle, man. You know, it makes perfect sense. All right. So let me keep playing this. Yeah, but yeah, you don't come back as an animal or as a bug or insect. All right. If you were an Israelite man in the past, all right, you're going to come back as an Israelite man. If you were a prophet of the past, you're going to come back as a prophet.
There are different views on how and why this occurs, but in most religions, reincarnation has a purpose. Generally speaking, the deeds or misdeeds of a lifetime determine what happens in the next. As Dr. Christopher Beisch says, people who have lived badly and made harmful choices encounter all the unpleasant circumstances that mirror back to them
the bad quality of the choices they made. All right. And that's the truth of it, you know. Whenever you're you come back in the reincarnation, you're judged, man. That's why you have children that are born, stillborn. All right. You know, that they're born and they're already dead. You know, you have children that suffer throughout birth, like the son of King David. He suffered after his birth, man. You know, suffered after his birth, and then eventually what happened? The babe died. You know, so the Most High can have you come back, all right, and suffer, man. You know, and there's no unrighteous thing with the Most High because it's justified. All right. How can a God, the Most High God, be justified in allowing a babe to die when the babe hasn't seen life yet? You know, that wouldn't make any sense, man. Christianity truly doesn't make any sense. And that's why the scriptures say the truth shall set you free. All right. It doesn't mean, you know, you go telling on people and things of that nature like you see it in the movies, man. The truth shall set you free, talking about the scriptures. Once you know the truth of the scriptures, that's going to set you free. You know, you're not going to feel in bondage anymore, man. And I tell you, I feel a whole lot better, all right, now knowing the truth than when I did before. Because before I wouldn't know what was right, what was wrong, you know, what I could do, what I can't do. You know, so I lived my life in fear, basically, man. You know, doing things and afterward thinking about it like, damn, man, is that bad? You know, should I have done that? Should I not have done that? You know. But as you grow in this truth, you begin to realize, okay, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. All right. And you filter things through the scriptures and through the help of brothers, you know, and you become edified. All right. So something I didn't know before, which was reincarnation. All right. It didn't make sense to me. If reincarnation supposedly wasn't Christian-like, all right, then how come there's a lot of people that remember their past lives, man? You know, they remember being, you know, little kids and doing certain things, you know? And then when they go back and fact check, they see that it was true. It wouldn't make sense why the Lord said to John the Baptist, this is Elijah who was for to come. The same thing that it says in Malachi 4. You know, the same Elijah from the book of Kings. You see, so that wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense why they called Yahushai one of the prophets coming back. What is that? You know, like there's things in the scriptures that don't make sense with Christianity, with the mythology of Christianity, man. You know, because that's really what it is, mythology. Because it goes back to the Roman, the Greek, the Babylonian. That's what Christianity, modern Christianity, goes back to. All right, that's why you had it in the book of what was it? The book of Acts. I believe it was Acts 14 or Acts 16. All right, where you had Apostle Paul and you had Barnabas, and they were out preaching, and they called Barnabas Zeus, and they called Apostle Paul Hermes, because of the power that they brought, and because Apostle Paul was the chief speaker. You know? And you can only imagine after the death of the apostles, all right, after the death of Yahushai, how things got indoctrinated, how people got indoctrinated with mythologies and this truth, all right, and became a mixed drink, you know? So this is 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 29. Let the prophets speak 2 or 3, and let the other judge. If anything be revealed to another that sitteth by, let the first hold his peace. And when you see the live feed of you know, Great Millstone Dallas, or Great Millstone LA, you know, Great Millstone in New York, or when the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, when they go out, you know, you'll see the spirit jump around, man. You know? So the spirit will be on you to bring out certain edifications, all right? And then it'll switch up the next second, and it'll jump to another brother, and he'll back up what the other brother was saying, and they'll go off of each other like that. And then eventually it'll turn to a rebuke, and then eventually it'll turn to laughter. And then, you know, that's how the spirit works, man. All right. And I've seen that, all right, mostly in Great Millstone, Dallas, because that's what I would watch the most, you know. And I've seen that the most, man. You know, it says, for ye may all prophesy one by one, that all may learn and all may be comforted. You see? And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Now, what does that mean? That means if you were a prophet in the past, you're going to come back as a prophet. All right? If you were Job in the past, you're going to come back as a prophet of the Lord, man. All right? It says, for the Most High is not an author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints, which is what? The bodies, all right? The temples, you know? The assemblies of the saints. You know? So how would it make sense, all right, that history repeats itself? You know? How would it make sense if not through reincarnation? All right, through reincarnation, it would make sense. All right? Because the same bodies the same spirits keep coming back and doing the same thing they were doing back then. All right? The same people that were in charge back then are the same people in charge nowadays. You know? It only makes sense. The Most High is not continuously creating new spirits to take over. And, you know, Vocab Malone made a video yesterday, or a live chat or whatever. And I asked a question, all right, which wasn't even answered. But I asked a question and I said, all right, Vocab, if the Most High loves everybody and everybody can be saved, is it fair that the old heathen of the ancient times died in their sins? All right? Would it make sense? Would it make sense that Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the 12 patriarchs, would it make sense that Seth, that Abel, all right, would it make sense that King Solomon and King David, they didn't see Yahushai, they didn't believe in Yahushai, they didn't know the name of Yahushai, because Yahushai says, under no other name can you be saved. So then how are they saved? You see? It only makes sense that reincarnation is true, man. You know? And according to that research that man had done, all right, ancient Christians, all right, which weren't called actually Christians, all right, they were just followers of Yahushai HaMashiach, all right, they were anointed, all right, they believed in reincarnation, you know? That's why it says one of the prophets coming back. Let's see, prophets. Try this one first, and if not, Luke 9:18. And it came to pass, as he was alone praying, it says his disciples were with him, and he asked them, saying, whom say the people that I am? They answering said, John the Baptist. But some say Elias, which is Elijah, all right, which John the Baptist and Elijah are the same. And others say that one of the old prophets is risen again. Now, in what world does that make sense? All right, that Isaiah, after he had been dead for close to 800 years, all right, that Isaiah was gonna just out of nowhere, like, look, I'm back from the dead. His body's not decayed anymore. It was all brought back together. All right. Or that King David, all right, which also was a prophet, not just a king. King David was a prophet. All right, because he did prophesy of many things. Prophesied of Yahushai. All right. King David is an old prophet. So what? They found King David came back again. All right, in the same flesh, in the same body. Come on, man. These scriptures are not that difficult, man. You know? But the Most High has to open your eyes to it. All right? They answering said, John the Baptist, but some say Elisha, and others say that one of the old prophets is risen again. All right? Which is one of the teachings of ancient Israelites. All right? Ancient Christians, so-called. It says that has been from the beginning, original, primal, old, ancient, of men, things, times, conditions. All right, now let me get this one. This is Salakia. I don't know why it's taking forever. Let me go to Genesis chapter 6 and verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that. Now, where are the giants now? If there was giants in the earth, there should be giants now. All right? Well, there is, but not the way that people would think. It says, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, that they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. All right? Mighty men which were of old. That word old there goes into past and present and future. All right? Everlasting. That's what that word old goes into. So those men have to be everlasting men. Who is everlasting but Yahweh and Yahushai and the elect? All right? So when you go into the word giant, it's talking about a tyrant. All right? But really, it's seen as noble, skillful men. All right? So you had kings that were noble and skillful. Was King David not noble, skillful? A king, a tyrant? When people hear the word tyrant, they hear negative things, man. All right? A bully. You know? But you had King Solomon that was also a tyrant. All right? He was over many things. He was over everything. All right, but he was noble and he was very skillful. You know, it shows you that when Solomon received the spirit of Yahweh, all right, there came two women, all right. One lost her babe, all right, as soon as it was born, and the other one, her babe survived. Well, in the morning she woke up, and the babe that she had in her chest was the dead babe, all right, and the babe that the other woman had was the living babe. So she realized what that other woman had done, and she was like, "That's my baby." You know, so they took them two before the king, Solomon, and King Solomon said, "Give me a sword, and I'm going to split it in half. The one take half, and the other take the other half." So everybody looked at Solomon like he was crazy, but they gave him the sword anyways. And as he was about to swing, the real mother showed that she was the real mother simply by saying, "No, let her keep the babe, but please let the babe keep his life." So Solomon realized that that was the real mother, all right? And that was the spirit of the Most High, the wisdom of the Most High that came into Solomon. So then Solomon told the other woman, he was like, "Take the babe away from her and give it to the real mother, for the real mother will not let her babe die." And the other one was saying, "Yeah, split it in half, split it in half." You know? So it says, there were giants in the earth in those days, which again, that word giants means noble, skillful kings. All right. And also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men. Now you have the book of Luke chapter 3, where it tells you who the sons of God are. All right. It goes through a large lineage all the way up until the point of Yahushai. All right. But even after Yahushai, and even the brothers of Yahushai, and even the cousins of Yahushai are of the sons of God. You see, of the sons of Jacob. It says, came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare them children to them, and the same became mighty men, which were of old, all right, of ancient times and of future times, men of renown, which is men with fame, all right. And the kingdom of heaven, the elect are going to be famous, all right. They're going to outshine the shininess of Israel, man. You know, Israel's going to be shiny, beautiful. You know, but then the elect of Israel are going to be so much more than that. You know, so going back here, back in Luke 9, on the word archaeos, which is that has been from the beginning, original, primal, old, ancient, of men, things, times, and conditions. You see? So the spirit of the prophets is subject to who? To the prophets. All right, to the same spirit that comes back. It says, one of the old, all right, ancient prophets in Greek writings and interpretation of oracles and or hidden things. All right, is that not what the men of the Lord are doing now? Bringing out these hidden things. That's why you have people like these Dr. James White, Vocab Malone. You have, you know, these other so-called Christians that are coming up against the Hebrew Israelites, calling us black, all right, because of the truth that we're bringing out, all right. And before that, nobody had heard about, all right, the breakdown of Revelations, the breakdown of Genesis, the correct breakdown of the scriptures, man. Bringing out the hidden things. The word apocrypha means hidden knowledge, all right. And why was it hidden? Because it was believed that in future times, all right, in ancient times, there would be men that were going to wake up and realize and be able to read those seals that were sealed, you know, which now Yahushai unsealed it and he gave it unto us. Let me get this one, which brings, you know, it brings to my memory Baruch. I always go to it. Wrong book. Book of Baruch. Chapter 3. Verse 35. This is our God, and there shall none other be accounted of in comparison of him. He hath found out all the ways of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob his servant, and Israel his beloved. Afterward did he show himself upon the earth and converse with men. All right. And that was Yahweh Shai. You know? So Yahweh Shai showed us this truth, man. All right. The Comforter. He sent us the Comforter. It says, number 2, one who, moved by the Spirit of the Most High, and hence his organ or spokesman, solemnly declares to men what he has received by inspiration, especially concerning future events, and in particular such as relate to the cause and kingdom of the Most High, and to human salvation. And by that human salvation, we're talking about Israelite elect. All right. The Old Testament prophets having foretold the kingdom, deeds, and death of Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, of John the Baptist, of the herald of Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, of the illustrious prophet the Jews expected before the advent of the Messiah. All right, so it goes through a list of various different things. A foreteller, all right, which is a prophet, which those prophets are back again. All right, so others say that one of the old prophets is risen again, to cause to rise up from laying down. All right, now which one out of all the prophets rose up from the dead? All right, which one of all the prophets rose from the dead, man? You know, in the time of Yahweh Shai? No one. You know, they're talking about the spirit being reincarnated. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth up, and the spirit of beast that cometh down? All right, let's look that one up. I believe that was Proverbs 30. Or Proverbs... Spirit of man. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth up? Oh yeah, it was Ecclesiastes, Salakia 3:21. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of beast that goeth downward to the earth? Why? Because the beast is reincarnated as a beast. All right. But you're reincarnated into the beast that you were before. Because humans are beasts of the earth. All right. You have dogs, you have buffaloes, you have so on and so forth. You know, and you're reincarnated back as that animal that you were, whether you be human or you know, whatever the case may be. You don't come back as a cricket. All right. You know, that's not how it works. It goes in order. You know, if you're an Israelite man, you're going to come back as an Israelite man. You're not going to come back as an Israelite woman. All right. If you were an Israelite woman, you're not going to come back as an Israelite man. All right. Even though some of you females try to act, you know, manly and try to take on roles of a man. All right. So it says Ecclesiastes 3:21, who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? You know, the same thing you can read in Job 14. In verse 14, it says, if a man die, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait, till my change come. All right. Thou shalt call, and I will answer thee. Thou will have a desire to do the work of thine hands. Now, if I'm not mistaken, all right, Job was already doing the work of the Most High, man. All right. He was already a righteous man. So what, is he going to be double righteous now? No, he's saying if I die, I'm going to come back in an appointed time. All right. And then my change is going to come. So he's going to come down into a different body. All right. And then the Most High eventually is going to call Job. All right. And Job is going to have to answer the Most High, because that's the lot he was given. All right. For now. All right. So he's going back to his present body. For now, thou numberest my steps. Does thou not watch over my sin? My transgression is sealed up in a bag, and thou sewest up my iniquity. All right. So the Most High is not unrighteous if he casts judgment on you. All right, because he's keeping track of all the iniquities that you do, man. You know? So he's not unrighteous for casting judgment. Why? Because we've lived plenty of times, man. Old soul sticking to a newer script. That means you're an old soul sticking to a newer body, man. You know? Because the flesh is new. All right? But the spirit is old. You know? Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense why the Apostle John, all right, known as John the Revelator, received this by the Spirit. Revelations 10:10, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. All right, that means you have to be able to read this whole book, man. You know, like I said, if you don't understand this book, all right, you're gonna be looking at a lot of troubles, man. You know, because you don't know what to guide yourself off of. It says, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. All right, because this comes with bitterness. It doesn't come with you know, flashing money and flashy toys and flashy women. It doesn't come with that. It says, and he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. All right, so when did the Apostle John, or John the Revelator, ever prophesy again after the book of Revelations? It's not found. All right, it's not found. Why? Because the Apostle John is back today prophesying the coming of Yahushua, the coming destruction to America, also known as Babylon, the Great Mystery Babylon. All right, the destruction of Esau, Edom, the reigning of Yahushua, of Yahweh. These are all things that the prophets are prophesying now, man. You know, and you can't tell me that the Christian church is prophesying, because they don't prophesy. They don't go into prophecy. You know, they don't teach you what's right. They don't teach you what's wrong. They tell you God just wants you to be happy, when that's not true. You know? So what is reincarnation? All right, let's go into the word regeneration. Matthew 19:28, and Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit on the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, so who are those men that are going to follow him in the regeneration? All right, because at that time when Yahushua was speaking, he hadn't yet sat on the throne. He hadn't yet been fully anointed. You know, Titus 3:5, not by works of righteousness, which we have done, but according to his mercy he saved us by the washing of regeneration and renewing of the Holy Spirit. All right, so let's go into the word regeneration. Where is it? Regeneration. How about down here? Yep. Regeneration is palengenasea. Palengenasea. It says new birth. That's it right there, man. Close the books, turn the lights off, let's go home. That's it right there, you know. It's a new birth. You see, not of the spirit, because the spirit isn't reborn. All right, but the washing away of your ways is what's reborn. You know, when Yahushua said, not unless a man is reborn. All right, it's talking about washing away the old, all right, and bringing in the doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. But also, the regeneration, all right, is when you're born again into your other flesh. It says reproduction, all right, and I mentioned how you're reproduced through your own seed line, and eventually you come back in a full circle. It says renewal, recreation, regeneration. All right, re means again. Generation is talking about genes in the seed line. All right, re-seed line, or re-coming back into that seed line of Israel. Same thing as reincarnation. Re meaning again, carnation is flesh. All right, so reincarnation means to come back into the flesh. You see? That's all it's talking about, man. So let me read that again and I'll end it there. Matthew 19:28. And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. So is that a spiritual thing? It's very spiritual. All right. But it's also a physical, realistic thing. All right. Israelites are going to rule over the world, man. You know? So regeneration and reincarnation are the same thing. All right. So with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai by Hashem Rakai Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth to rule well. Shalom to you, Akim, out there. Shalom.